me again, and today we are going to talk about what to do when your dog runs away. Not when the dog decides to just get lost while in the house or anything, but when your dog runs away while you're outside going for a walk. I know there are dogs who take every opportunity to run, go explore and return later, but that's not the situation I mean today. And oh my god, I have a few stories with these kind of dogs. Sometimes a dog sees something and they're just gonna follow after it because, hey, hunting is fun, I love running after things. Yay! Oh pooh, where am I? Where is my human? I mostly walk my dogs without a leash on, which is because I don't live close to a busy road. We walk over the fields and they run around, and sometimes they run after birds, especially Diego. He loves to do that. He always runs after the flocks of birds. But I have seen other dogs who just sprint after a bunny or a cat or whatnot, and well, then they're gone. You can scream, you can do whatever you want, your dog doesn't give a flying monkey butt and just runs after whatever bunny or cat it is hunting. This is the situation we are in right now. We walk the dog without a leash, dog saw something, dog runs after that and disappears behind a hill or in a forest or in a field. What to do now? There are 3 options we are going to discuss, and 1.5 are kind of right, while the third one is a don't. Bear in mind that there are probably other things you could do, and always depends on the dog and on the character of the dog and of course where you lost it too. Like if you're at the street or close to a highway or a railroad, for example. I would just die out of worry. So, the first option is run after the dog and try to catch it. Well, good luck with that, I guess. Yeah, sure, of course you could try following the dog if you know where it had disappeared to, but I really wouldn't recommend it. Especially if you take a different road because you don't want to go through the muddy field or climb over stuff or go through the forest or something. If you follow it, then on the direct path, and also just if you see it as necessary so you can get it back quicker, or if it maybe didn't run away that far and you still can see it. The second option would be continuing the walk or just go home. Yeah, no, don't. At least not if there isn't a reason for it. Don't assume the dog knows its way back home or knows where the usual walking path is and follows along. That ain't happening. And last but not least, the third option, stay where you are and wait. In most cases, the dog will return to where it last had seen you. And that goes for almost all lost pets, by the way. If you lose an animal, you should always return to where you last had seen it or where you last were together with it. If it's not there and you can't really wait, leave a water bowl, no food. And then you can return later and see if it's there then. Believe me, easiest method to get your dog back. After the hunt or after they are powered out or their prey disappeared or whatever, they usually turn around and go straight back to where they last saw you. If you're not there, they stroll around the area, but they won't go back home. They wait for you. Quick story time. A year back or so, I actually found a dog where that exact thing happened. She was wandering around our house and the fields behind our house. First I thought she was just taking her time or her human was close by, but after making the 3rd or 4th circle around our house, I decided to catch her and bring her in. I did exactly that. Food worked beautifully. And then called the police to tell them I found a dog and called the shelter. Yeah, and all the other stuff you should do if you find a dog that is outside without a human. And if you didn't make sure there really isn't a human, don't just catch dogs. Well, yeah, turns out her human came back to look for her hours after she had gotten lost in the first place. It was already dark and and by the way, it was also winter. So it got dark pretty quickly, but it was winter, so it was cold outside. Yeah, it was already dark and they were calling for her right behind our house. I went and asked, "That's your dog?" And lo and behold, it was. The elderly lady who had walked her just had assumed that she knew her way back home after she had run after a cat and just got worried after she didn't return hours later when her daughter came back and asked where the dog was. The dog came back to where she had lost her owner and her owner wasn't there, so she started to circle around our house. Driving Diego nuts, by the way, before I decided to pick her up 2 hours later. Funny enough, that small story time brings me to another story time starring the same people. How to behave if your dog comes back. That's also very crucial. And I think a lot of people don't know it. Because I met them again just a few weeks ago and, well, the dog ran after something again. Seems like a habit. I actually just stood there and watched in amazement how all 4 people just screamed after the small pupper as she darted off into the distance. I had both Diego and Rufus, who still was living with us at this time, on a leash because I had seen them, and well, that's what you do when you see someone walking towards you. Put your dogs on a leash. Anyways, they decided to turn around and walk a different path, kind of after the dog. And funny enough, the dog returned rather quickly, so the elderly woman had to turn around again and walk back to where she originally had lost her dog. It was really interesting to watch all that happening, by the way. But then she did something that is the most wrongest thing you could do when the dog returns to you. She called out for the dog. The dog already cowered down, obviously knowing she had done something wrong, but she still comes over to her and she hits her and punishes her before putting her back on the leash. Yeah, congratulations, lady, you just punished your dog for coming back to you. Don't punish your dog if it comes back to you. Even if it didn't the first time you called, even if it didn't the 20th time you called, if it comes back to you the 56th time, reward it for coming back and don't punish it. The dog won't be able to make the connections anymore. Sure, if you're able to catch it in the act, or you walk towards it and grab it after it didn't listen, you should punish it, because then it knows why and what it had done wrong. If you punish it afterwards, the dog won't know why and you are accomplished absolutely nothing, but maybe that your dog now won't even come back to you because it got punished when it did. The connection the dog makes is, you call, I come back, I get punished, so I did something wrong. So when you call, I shouldn't come back. It makes sense. So, well, yeah, that is basically all I have to say about this topic. Actually, it would be interesting what you think and how you react or treat your dog so they don't run away, or what you do if they do. Well, let me know in the comments and I guess, me out.